Hello, welcome to the Joyful House and welcome to Crafts of the Heart. Today I will be bringing you the updates for project number 5 and project number 6. Project number 5 is the plus size joy sweater that I am making, and project number 6 is the gorilla. So, if you will, join me as we take a moment and look at project number 5. And again, I just want to remind you that this is now the fifth sweater that I am making with the joy stitch. And this one is for myself, and I am very excited. One of the great things about this being the 5th sweater, which is the 3rd adult sweater, is that this time I get to pretty much follow the pattern, and I'm not having to think things through, design it, and try to work it up. I'm literally able to just look at the pattern and work through it. So I am making some speedy progress on it because of that. So with that being said, this is what I have to show so far. And as you can see, I didn't get to finish the color. I was very faithful. When the timer went off, I stopped, although it was slightly tempting to keep going, but I did stop. But anyway, I think this is working up very nicely. And as you can see, I have stitch markers running through the whole thing, around the whole piece, because I want to make sure that I am keeping up with the stitch count, because it is very important. But anyway, that's not going to lay completely even and flat because I haven't finished this row. You can see where I've stopped off right here. So it is incomplete. In fact, I think I just maybe started the new round. Yes, here's the beginning. So, but anyway, it is working up really nice, and oh my gosh, I'm going to love it. I am going to love it. So if you want to continue seeing the progress on this, then definitely stay tuned. All right, before I jump into project number 6, I just want to take this time in case someone is stopping in here for the first time. If you are, welcome to the Joyful House. And also, I would love to invite you, and even if you're not new to the Joyful House, I would like to extend a warm invite to you to come join us with this project. This is something that you want to do. It's not doing the same thing that someone else is doing. In other words, you don't have to make the projects I'm making. You pick a project that you've always wanted to do and just start it. And every week, send me update pictures so I can share them out with the Joy Fam. In fact, I hope you'll stay tuned so that after I finish, that you can stay and enjoy all the progress reports and pictures and updates of those that are participating. But this is open to anyone. You can do it anytime. And if you can't work on a project, say, every week, then as you make that progress, then send in your pictures. Because sometimes you may have to skip a week. Or if you say, there's so much on my plate right now, I can't start another project. Understandable. But when you get ready to start, I hope that you'll consider joining us with Crafts of the Heart and sending in your pictures and letting us watch your project just come to full bloom until it is an FO. So we'd love to see your whips as they move into FOs, and enjoy the progress and the journey of it as you progress. Project number 6, the gorilla. So the last time we were together, there was a little bit of a hiccup because I wasn't going to have enough yarn, because this stuff, it works up pretty quick, and as thick as it is, because it is a bulky number 6. My project, my gorilla head, was rather large. So when we last left, I asked you, did you think I should buy some more of the fox fur and continue making a very large gorilla that would be about the size of our panda back here? Or should I switch over to eyelash yarn? And I kind of got some mixed opinions, so that would have made it difficult. However, I was sitting here one afternoon looking at this yarn, and let me see, this is the only skein that I haven't caked up, but let me see if I can find an end piece to show you. I don't want to mess with it too much because if I don't need it, then I would like to gift it. And so I don't want it all torn apart, but hopefully I can find an end somewhere. And I'm not really feeling it, and I don't want to take it apart. Oh, I don't want to take it apart. Okay, hopefully I can stuff that back in. But I wanted to show you something that I discovered. I was sitting here just playing with it, and I was just playing with it and thinking, and then the next thing I realized, this is a combination of 3 strands to make that bulky piece. Now I'm going to leave that alone because, like I said, I'm hoping I won't need this and I'll be able to hopefully gift it to someone. But I was like, oh my. So I got to looking at it and I started pulling it apart just a little bit because I wasn't sure like what would happen if I did that. But let me show you something. Oh, and now I find this other this other end. Isn't that how it works? Okay, let me put that to the side. So as I started pulling it apart and looking at it, there is a thick strand running through that fox fur that gives it like strength. And I was like, ooh, if I separate those 3 strands, then I would have enough to use the fox fur and still make the gorilla. So Mr. Joyful and I started pulling it apart. Easier said than done. We ended up investing, I really can't remember, I think it was close to 13 and a half, 4 hours to pull 3 of these skeins, 2 like this, 1 being the gorilla head that you already saw last week when we were together. To pull those apart and pull the 3 strands, it was no easy feat. The first one alone took us 6.5 hours. Craziness, patience. Then we managed to get through the second one. And by the time we got to the third one, we were like, we had to stop and go get some rest. And we were like, there's got to be an easier way. And every time we kept coming up with these ideas and it's like, no, it wouldn't work because of this. Well, finally, we did come up with an idea. And I am going to show you a little video clip at the very end before we go into the rest of our Crafts of the Heart families and their progress updates. But oh, thank goodness. If only we had come up with that solution towards the beginning of the process. But nonetheless, we got them all made up into cakes. And like I said, I had frogged the original one. And so using it as a thinner strand, I proceeded to make it again. And so this is what I have. Because it is thinner, it is easier to fill, easier to maneuver through. So I think I actually got 3 or 4 more rows in on this one than I had the last one. And as you can see, it is considerably smaller. Now there's my beginning tail of my magic ring because I wasn't going to weave it in until I am 100% sure that this is going to work. But anyway, so this is what I have so far. If you remember the last one that was 3 or 4 rows less than this, I could have put it on as a hat. I can't really do that with this one. So it is indeed a little bit smaller, but nonetheless, I think it's going to work. It's going to be perfect. And I cannot wait to see it progress. But anyway, so I was very happy because I was ready to go ahead and buy, you know, the eyelash yarn. I was ready to buy a different kind of gray yarn for the face. And that's another thing. I changed up the yarn I was going to use. I was looking over at my cotton yarn wall, the mini yarn wall, while we were winding up these fox fur cakes. And I happened to see this cotton yarn and I thought, oh, the cotton would be sturdy enough to give me that thickness that I needed for the parts of the gorilla that the gray was going to go on. And I thought, what a pretty color. So I grabbed this cone off of the yarn wall. It is the colorway Overcast. And of course, it's from Sugar and Cream. It's 100% cotton. And so I am very, very excited. And I think that this is going to be a great combination for the gorilla. So very, very happy to see how this continues to progress. The excitement, the excitement, the excitement. All right, well, I am going to now share a clip of Mr. Joyful and our made up way, faster way of untangling that yarn, because when you try to pull it apart, it starts twisting in itself. You have to be able to have a place long enough for it to hang and just twist, you know, itself as you take it apart. That was not the case because we don't have a distance long enough or high enough to do that. But the way that I'm about to show you, when we did it that way, it automatically unbraided the 3 as we went along. And so the third skein was done in no time. And I did tell him, let's stop, because this has created a lot of different yarn balls, or cakes, I guess I should say. There's a ton of them, and I'm now pulling them apart. But I was like, let's see, because this gorilla is not that big. So let's see if I even need that one before we unwind it. So we stopped. But anyway, I hope you enjoy, get a giggle, get a laugh out of our makeshift yarn untangler. There we go. Oh, yeah. We make such a great team, Mr. Joyful. Oh, yeah. It's still not a super fast method, but it is faster than the others have been, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But when we're done, we wind them up into little cakes. And I have probably close to, I don't know, 15 or 16 of these little ones. There it goes. Look at that. Nice. Nice. Except we're getting too far away. I can't reach you. Nice. Look at that. Oh, we didn't make this kind of progress at all before. I hope you'll stick around and look at our Joy family and their Crafts of the Heart updates. And until next time, be joyful, stay crafty in your own way, make your own joyful creations, and find your joy. And I'll see you next time. Bye.